Good morning, Roff. How are you doing today?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Doing very well. You have to know inside your heart this book is being released at the right time because during the lockdown, people went out and got bikes. Now they've had 3 years to practice riding those bikes and building up their chest. And now you've got a book like this that says, okay, get outside your community and let's start traveling.
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
There is a lot to see, and especially, I mean, I'm being selfish when I go to the trails here in the United States first, but my God, it's so amazing, and to see that the Blue Ridge Parkway is a part of this book, it's an honor to be in these pages because I live North Carolina every day.
Well, yeah, North Carolina is quite beautiful. I mean, I did a story in North Carolina for National Geographic some years ago along the New River. Up in Blowing Rock and Boone and following down through into western part of Virginia and West Virginia, and yeah, it's a beautiful, and of course Cape Hatteras and the Blue Ridge, yeah.
What I felt in my heart when I first received this book was I thought, wow, this is the new Route 66. This is how people are going to travel to see all parts of the world, but they're going to do it at an evenly slow pace. Or they can go a little bit faster if they want to, but it's not going to be speeding down a highway.
No, I mean it's a whole different. It's not only the slow pace, but the interaction and engagement with the landscape. Mm-hmm. I mean, every line of contour you know, and the wind, the weather, the smells, the sights, the sounds, and the people. It's easy to approach people, and people will approach you. They see you loaded up for somewhere. It's a conversation starter. Where are you going?
The way you're describing it like that, suddenly I feel like, wait, maybe I could be like Lewis and Clark and go out there on an expedition on my bike.
Well, I mean, one of the rides in that book actually follows the path of Lewis and Clark through Missouri, the Katy Trail. So you're closer than you know. But, there's so many... there's another ride there that follows approximates the route of the Underground Railway from Mobile, Alabama, up to Ontario, where the enslaved people were escaping the antebellum South, and follows their route. So there's history, there's culture, there's a series of rides in there around Mount Desert Isle in Maine that were built by Rockefeller.
Yeah.
These gorgeous carriage roads. He designed them for carriages, not bicycles. But now they're very popular bicycle paths that are these elegant roads built on what was then a private estate, and you can go there and ride them now. America has a lot of rides in it, and the hard part was sort of I had 100 rides for the entire world, so. Between that and Britain, where I live now, it was quite easy. Would have been quite easy to just do those two places and forget the rest of the world. But of course, I couldn't do that.
Wow. And to be associated with National Geographic, because when that happens, it's not only beautiful pictures, but it's also stories. And to me, that's part of what this is all about, is that making that connection with somebody who has ridden on a bike or somebody who needs to be out on a bike.
Yeah. My career got kind of a strange start in the way I was 14 when the May 1973 issue of National Geographic arrived in our house, and in it had a story about 4 people that were cycling the Alaska Highway, and that fired my imagination. I wanted to go on long cycling treks, and I wanted to work for National Geographic. And in a funny way the world works, I managed to do both.
Don't you introduce us to a lost world in the way that I didn't know that they take biking as seriously as they do in Argentina as well as Chile. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, that would be an ultimate, like a game changer to be able to go into a country like that and go for a ride.
Yes, there are some absolutely stunning rides. I mean, the Seven Lakes rides around in Argentina. I mean, just absolutely beautiful countryside. Or some of that long ride down through Chile and these epically empty wilderness landscapes and this that both of those countries offer a lot. And then you've got the salt pans in Bolivia. It's a surreal landscape that this endless white salt is as far as you can see. Yeah, South America has some fabulous rides. Tour of the volcanoes around in Ecuador. Ecuador is an amazing country.
Yeah.
There are some gorgeous rides, and I'm lucky here in Britain. We have some quite amazing. One of my favorite rides is one that goes the length and breadth of Wales, from Chepstow to Holyhead, through 3 mountain ranges. The Brecon Beacons, which is where the SAS goes to train, so it gives you some idea of just how rugged the countryside is. At the same time, this is literally the countryside where the word picturesque was invented in the 18th century. So, there's a lot to see.
Yeah, and it brings back memories of the rides that we took down the Pacific Coast Highway. And even at that, it was a California cold day. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of these mountain trails, it's colder than the picture, allows you to assume.
Yeah. Yes, you can get some, cold and clammy, too, is the other part of the equation. There's nothing like a freezing mist to really get into your bones.
That is so true.
But,
that is so true.
It's all part of the adventure.
Now, Roff, did you do any filming while you were doing this? Because this book has so many different levels that the human imagination can describe.
Most of my shooting has been done in the last few years, quite locally. During the lockdown, couldn't go anywhere. Obviously, I had no work, and so I just put my cameras on my backpack, put a tripod on my bike, and shot my morning bike rides as though they were magazine assignments. And I spent a couple of years just shooting locally within the 10, 12-mile radius. I discovered there was so much to see right where I live that, going further afield just didn't seem worth the bother. I've got pictures of near here in Sussex that look like they were shot on a rainforest track. I've got another image I'm thinking of that I shot coming across the coastal marshes, which could look like you're somewhere in the Masai Mara in Kenya. There's so much to see locally, which is another wonderful advantage of having a bicycle, because you can travel at home.
Is it a way to slow down time? Because we're always complaining about how fast time is moving.
It is. I think when you get on a bicycle, particularly, I'm thinking over here, we disappear down these little old lanes. It is like stepping back into a quieter, gentler age. You're going at a very civilized pace, about as fast as, 10, 12 miles an hour. And something that you see here over in Britain is these little milepost signs in the corner of these little tiny lanes, and it'll say something like "Dolum Halt, 3 3/4 miles," and you realize you've come back to a time when a quarter of a mile made a difference. You'd mentioned that on my own, rounded up to 4 miles. It was 3 3/4 miles. It's like the whole world has become just bigger and just more worthy of exploration.
Yeah, it feels like it's the last great thing when it comes to using all of our senses, from sight to smell to listening. It puts us in a universe where you embrace it and it embraces you.
Yes, and you're kind of off the radar. You're just it's probably the last completely free bit of travel that sort of left to us. There's speed cameras are meaningless because you're not going to speed. You can't speed. And you're just, you're sort of left kind of the unpleasant aspects of the 21st century behind, and just disappear into a kind of this parallel world that's slower and gentler.
Wow. Where can people find out more about you, Roff, and this book, as well as everything else that you've been doing?
Well, a lot of my Instagram account is filled with cycling images that were shot during lockdown, and I'm still doing that now. I still go out on my bike and shoot shoot scenes from the rides. I'm the cyclist and the photographer both, but the pictures are not meant to be about me. I emphasize that. They're meant to be a cyclist on the landscape, hopefully something anyone can identify with. But yeah, my Instagram account is Roff Smith at Instagram. And then I have a website, The Art of the Ride, which is also about the simple beauties of traveling at home.
Wow. Will any of this make its way into a gallery? Because I would love to go into a gallery to look at all of your photographs.
That's my hope. I've got a lot of really nice images that my lockdown images got quite a lot of attention in the New York Times a couple of years ago, and the Guardian, the BBC, and so I would like to do something with them. They're rather romanticized images of cycling, but I think that's kind of what a lot of people I think were looking for at that time too, is just a step back into a quieter, nicer time. And so, yes, I would very much like to have them be part of a gallery.
Wow. Well, you've got to come back to this show anytime in the future, Roff. The door is always going to be open for you.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Oh, thank you.